We came to say we're going to miss you. Late night is not going to be the same without you.
Yeah. Without you, where will Americans turn to see a middle-aged white man make jokes about the news?
The news? Why? What's going on?
It's okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Why aren't you guys being pulled in, too?
You know what? Actually, one of these holes opened at my show last year, but it went away after about 3 days.
Okay, so did you hear that? Make jokes about the news. That's what they all think that late night is all about. It's not. And you don't have to have a late night show to know this. You're supposed to just make jokes, not about the news. And if you make jokes about the news, you've got to make jokes about all the news, not just Republicans. Donald Trump on Truth Social, this was pretty funny. Stephen Colbert is finally finished at CBS. No talent, no ratings, no life. You could take any person off the street and they would be better than this total jerk. Thank goodness he's finally gone. Interestingly enough, Colbert did not mention Donald Trump once last night, which is even funnier because if he started doing that like 5 years ago, he'd probably still be on the air right now. Katie Zacharia is a former spokeswoman and Deputy Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security. Jack Posobiec is a Turning Point USA contributor and a former Naval Intel officer. Great to see you. Happy Friday. Katie, this was just unbelievable. So the Finnerty telecast, worldwide, world-famous Rob Finnerty show telecast right now has a staff of 6. It was 8, now it's 6, and this show makes a profit for Newsmax. That is a fact. Here is the full staff of Colbert taking the stage at the end of the show last night. All of these people clapping like seals all work for Colbert. His staff, over 150, by one estimate, 200 people, to do 4 shows a week with every single holiday off, 150 people for that. What does that tell you about what's wrong with the dominant media in this country? Look at this.
Well, this is shocking. This is absolutely, I can't believe what I'm seeing right here. How does it take that many people to drive a once, not Colbert, but late night television, a once extremely fun and happy, wonderful thing all the way into the ground? Look, Colbert deserves exactly what he got. Not only could he not make profit, but he turned his show into late night hate and banked every episode on either bringing in Obama to turn against the president or Comey a year ago to turn against the president or just spewing pure propaganda. And this man was absolutely a mouthpiece for the DNC. I remember him running and dancing around with the vaccine jabs all over his show. He deserves every second of this. And President Trump is so right. He's a jerk.
Absolutely. And by the media, the audience at home, I know people right now are tired of Colbert. This is the last time we're going to do this. Jack, how many staff do you have on your podcast?
Literally maybe 4 or 5.
Maybe 4.
On a daily basis.
Okay. So Nora O'Donnell had a massive staff, dozens of assistants. The show failed. Jimmy Kimmel has 20 writers, just writers. Joe Rogan has a full staff of 20 and reaches 4 times the audience every single week. Why don't these network executives get this?
So what's going on here, though, is they need writers like that because Stephen Colbert isn't actually funny, number one. He hasn't been for years. I actually think his old show used to be funny. I'll give him credit for that. And that's what makes me so upset about this, because I know that he used to be funny, like Jimmy Kimmel used to be funny when they used to just make jokes instead of enforcing left-wing ideology on every single show that they do. And so they bring the staff in because they're not there to tell you what's funny. They're there to tell you what you're allowed to say. You're looking at the HR department and the Consensus Bureau and the Board of Operations, the Ministry of Truth. Right. They're the ones who say, okay, this won't be offensive to this community. This won't be offensive to that community. Paul McCartney is there for some reason, right? And you just get, again, all of these people who can't actually tell a joke. And if they could, by the way, then we'd all be clamoring for the massive Colbert podcast, but it ain't going to happen because they tried that during the pandemic and it was an absolute failure.
We don't want to upset the trans community, which is 0.0001% of the population, but we're fine insulting 51% of the population, the 51% that voted for Donald Trump in 2024 on a nightly basis. Sorry, they only go 4 nights a week. Katie, here he is taking shots at CBS. Take a look.
The owner of the music of A Charlie Brown Christmas and other Peanuts television specials has filed 4 lawsuits yesterday against those illegally using the famous song Linus and Lucy. anyone illegally using that music is going to have to pay through the nose. Lewis, is the band right now playing the same Peanuts music that I just said people are being sued for? Oh no, I hope this doesn't cost CBS any money.
Like, what a tool, Katie. The Late Show, by the way, was losing $40 million a year for CBS. Can I just ask you, why didn't they can this guy a year ago? Why give him a year to say goodbye like he was Johnny Carson or something?
I think that they were hoping that he would be able to do exactly what his job was, which was to try to take down President Trump through not being funny. And it had the reverse effect. This guy basically ate himself alive. As Jack said, you said he's not funny. But I wonder, all those people dancing, they're losing their jobs, or are they going to replace Colbert with another failed comedian or not comedian, Rob? I mean, this is ridiculous. They should have canned him. They need to can Jimmy Kimmel and the rest of these hacks because they're not funny. They cost the networks money, and they're not in touch with American people anymore.
I agree. Can we get the sound on that with the dancing seals there all looking for jobs this morning? Like, habla, tequila, habla. You could put all these people on the Finnerty show. I could have a staff of 150, and the show would be exactly what it is right now. I've got the best executive producer in the business, the second best senior producer. I got the best 6 in the business. He's got 150 who are unemployed today, and they're celebrating because they get to enjoy the long weekend. On Tuesday, it's going to look a little bit different. Katie, Zacharia, Jack Posobiec, great to see you. Have a good weekend. Thank you, guys. All right. It is Friday, so that means it is time to name our Trump hater of the week. And honestly, this week, there was like too much to choose from. Thomas Massie, Bill Cassidy, both losing to Trump-endorsed candidates earlier in the week. But it was tough to pass over this guy right here, the guy who finally got his dream job, his own late-night TV show. Always his dream. He said that. He makes millions of dollars a year, or made that much money. And then he used that show to do one thing, and that's bash a 2-term Republican president named Donald Trump, like it was part of the Colbert mission statement. And we covered this last night, and we just talked about it. But in case you missed it.
Trump, I'm not usually critical of President Trump. The president was buddies with a pedophile. Thanks to Trump's blunder, the world's biggest airlines are canceling flights. Our money is under attack. Thanks to the Trump administration, Donald Trump may be destroying civil society. He's reportedly planning a military parade through D.C. for his own 79th birthday. A military parade for a dictator's birthday. Well, it happened again. After a bizarre and vicious campaign fueled by a desperate need not to go to jail, Donald Trump has won the 2024 election.
I honestly wonder, when was Stephen Colbert actually funny on television? Turns out at one point he was funnier, at least. Before The Late Show, he hosted The Colbert Report, which was on Comedy Central. He was supposed to be like a spoofy version of a conservative opinion host like Bill O'Reilly or, dare I say, Rob Finnerty, The Finnerty Report. He poked fun at everyone without politically isolating more than half the country. Take a look.
The dark forces trying to silence my message of core conservative principles mixed with youth-friendly product placement have been thwarted. Went through a few of these this weekend. But folks, I'm not gonna lie. This was close. We almost lost me.
So he went from that to like an ultra-lib Republican antagonist for the last 10 years. And guess what? That cost him his job. That's why he's not hosting a show anymore. And for that, drum roll, Stephen Colbert is our Trump hater of the week.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.